Hi everybody, it's Lauren Brown, also known as RaggedyRoyal on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and now YouTube. And today we're going to be doing this Sunset Halo eyeshadow. So I recently did this look to go to a YouTube shopping summit event. If you want to see the vlog for that, I think I'm uploading them around the same time, so you can check that vlog out. And now I would like to redo it because I think it's just perfect for summer, and I love halo eyes. Love halo eyes. Before we start, I do want to let you know that you're going to want to do your eyes before your base because there is going to be fallout. It's easier to just wipe that fallout off with the makeup wipe and then do your base than to have to like wipe your base off. So you want to do your eyes before your base. If you like this video anywhere along the way, please give it a like and subscribe down below. We are at 49,660 subscribers last time I checked, so less than 400 away from 50,000. Thank you so much for subscribing if you have already, and if you enjoy and you want to make the commitment down below, you can tap that subscribe button. Lastly, I am having a live masterclass on June 28th in Washington, D.C. So if you're in the area or you can get to the area, buy tickets, come out. We're going to be learning all about how to apply lashes, the best practices for that, and how to apply the perfect red lip combo. There's going to be hands-on corrections. I'm going to answer all your questions. It's going to be a fabulous time. You can buy tickets in the description box, and you're going to get over $100 worth of product to apply and to take home with you. So check that out in the description bar below, and let's get into the video. Okay, so the eyes are already primed. We're using Anastasia Beverly eyeshadow primer per always today because it is nice and light. You're gonna need a light primer to really make sure that these eyeshadows show up as bright and true to pan as possible. True to pan just means that it's true to what it looks like in the eyeshadow pan. Speaking of eyeshadow, we're gonna go in with the Beauty Bay Bright 2.0 palette to start with. Frequent friend to the show, and I'm going to go in with this taper brush. This is a Morphe M456. Actually, before we even blend, let me tell you a little bit about the brushes that we're using today, using Lauren Brown brush breakdown, right? It's gonna look a little bit different than recently. We've been in a one eyeshadow series, so I've been showing you how to blend out one eyeshadow with the different brushes and get a different effect. Since we're using multiple colors today, it's gonna be a little bit different, but I still want to explain it to you. So these taper brushes are going to be in the crease, right? So when the brush is more tapered, meaning when it is skinnier, when it's thinner, the brush bristles are just actually more closely put together. Those are going to be down towards the crease, which is this fold where your eye is, right? Maybe your crease looks different than mine. That's cool. It's going to go halfway between your brow bone and your lash line. So about halfway. It's going to be about here. That's where your crease is, right? That's where these taper brushes are going to go. That's where you're going to blend out eyeshadow with these taper brushes. As you go up the eye, going up the eye means goes towards the brow, you're going to be using fluffier and fluffier brushes because the fluffier brushes diffuse that color. The more taper brushes really pack on that color and they make more depth, right? So we're going to be blending from the crease up today because that's the simplest way to explain where all the colors go. So we're going to start with the taper brush, and as we go up the eye, we'll go in with fluffier brushes. So there's your Lauren B. Brown brush breakdown. We're going to start in shade Fig and a little bit of shade Throne. I like the color of Fig. I like the depth of Throne. So that's where we're going to start. I'm going to make sure that my primer is nice and flat, no creasing, just so that we have the smoothest foundation possible. I do not set it though. So I just add the primer straight to the eye and flatten it out. That you haven't missed any steps. That's exactly how we prime the eyes. So I'm going to go in with that Morphe M456, and I'm going to start in the inner corner just because I want to. You can start in the outer corner if you would like, because we're going all the way across the crease. What does that mean? We're going from the inner corner all the way to the outer corner. I'm going to really pack that color on. And I'm going to do the same on the other eye. Never in a Lauren Brown eyeshadow tutorial will you only apply a color once. So we're going to go back in where you only do a step once. So we're going to go back in towards the end with this again. So if you feel like, wow, it's really lost its depth after you blend everything out, that's cool. But this is really going to be our skeleton, our blueprint to really show us where the crease is and where we're blending out from. Okay, now purple can blend out two different ways. We can blend towards red and pink, or we can blend towards red and orange, right? So you can blend towards red, orange, yellow, green, towards that way of the color wheel, or you can blend more into itself of the purple into pink. Pink is not on the color wheel, but just walk with me, right? So on one side, we're going to be blending from purple to orange. On the other side, we're going to be blending from purple to pink. The reason why I did orange on this inner corner is because I was wearing an orange shirt and I wanted more orange. And then also the pink will blend nicely into blush. To start on the red side, I'm going to take this Morphe M441, once again, a less tapered brush. And I'm going to go into the Beauty Bay Bright Matte palette now. Because this palette has more reds. I've basically like torn up the reds in the other palette, but you don't have to use the exact same palettes I have. Any red will do. And I'm going to blend on top of, and really I'm blending out that purple. Like I said before, we will go back in and make that crease deeper, so don't worry and think, oh my gosh, no. There goes all the purple. Don't worry, that was just a basis, a marker. I'm going to blend about halfway. Yes. Now I'm going to take this BH Cosmetics brush that doesn't have a name. Y'all know I've had this since middle school. And I'm going to go into the oranges. This is our fluffiest brush. And you know the fluffy brushes go up near the brow bone. So I'm going to blend out that red. And I'm blending on top of the color, as you can see. So I'm not just going up here and I'm blending, you know, orange in its own little spot and red. No, I'm blending right on top of the red because I want to blend out that red. In order for the colors to look blended, they have to touch. They can't be segregated. They have to have some boundaries that overlap. This kind of reminds me a little bit of the Valentine's Day look that we did with the multicolors in the crease. Yeah. All right, now I'm going to go back in with that medium fluffy brush and go back in with those reds and blend that out again. And then I'm going to go back in with that plum and purple shade. And blend that out again. That, my friends, is a good start. Now let's move on to the other side. I'm going to be taking, this is a Morphe M441. This is a Morphe M441. So the red brush that I was using before, same brush, using it with the pink. And I'm going to be going into the pinks in the Beauty Bay Bright Matte palette. You could also use the pink in the Bright 2.0 or whatever pink you have at home. And we're going to start on the other side of the halo, so out towards the ear on the outer corner. And I'm blending. And as you see, when we get to the middle, I'm not just stopping right where the orange starts. I have no problem going over that red and orange a little bit. Because like I said, that's how you blend. And because these are both variants of like red and purple, it's okay for them. It's basically all the same color, different undertones. If you really want to get philosophical about color, which I always want to get philosophical about color. Blending that out. Okay, now I'm going to take a different blending brush. You could use the same blending brush that you use with the orange, but because I'm going to be going back and forth, I'm just going to keep it separate. This is an XO Cosmetics 108 brush, and I'm going to go into these light pinks here and blend this out. Going back in with that pink so that there's no harsh line. Yes, I feel like this eyeshadow look could really benefit from another color being added, right? I find that the easiest thing when blending, if you're trying to blend two colors together, you realize that they're not really blending seamlessly. The best thing to do is find a color in between and then blend from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this neon purple right here, because I feel like this wine shade can just use a little bit of help blending into these other shades. So this shade, this neon purple, is a little bit closer to the orange and to the pink than this plum, but it's also close enough to the plum where it's not gonna look crazy to blend it out, right? So it's something like a medium, and I'm gonna be going in with the Morphe M433, a little bit less taper, a little bit more fluffy than the brush that we use for the plum. I'm gonna just blend that out. Yes, okay. Okay, yes, exactly. So you can see here versus here, that neon purple definitely helped. You got these colors that do have a color in between sometimes, because otherwise this purple would have been kind of by itself, the only super dark color in the crease. It would have been very hard to blend it. I don't know what's going on right here. I don't know what's going on right there. Let's go back to the other eye. Let's go back to the other eye until we figure out what's happening. Yes. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in and just repeat every single step I just did. So I'm going to start in the inner corner with that red, and I'm going to blend that red out because we kind of lost the red. And I'm going to go back in with that orange. I'm just going to repeat every step to make it super blended. Y'all know, I think that blending a lot is a sign of like maturity and knowing what you're doing in makeup. I feel like the beginners get very frustrated with like, oh, it's going to take me forever to blend. It takes me so long. That's okay. That's about right. That's about right. We're going to take our time and blend this all out. And really build the blend and really nurture it instead of just kind of like throwing colors and hoping that, you know, they harmonize. We're gonna make them harmonize. And I'm gonna go back in with that pink. And go back in with the light pink. And then lastly, going back in with that dark plum shade. Even though we blended out with that neon purple, it is still necessary to have that depth. And the reason why is because this is going to be a cut crease, it's going to be a halo eye. And when you have a super dark crease, that's going to make your cut crease look even sharper. Sometimes people think it's just the shape of the cut crease, and you know, the shape does matter, like the shape of how you cut it. That's what makes it look sharp, but really it's the contrast between that dark color and that light color on the lid that really makes it look like, whoa, sharp. And since I went in with that plum shade, I'm going to go back in with that neon purple and blend that out. Yes. I kind of want to add a little bit of dark brown. So this right here is a Morphe M506, and I'm going to go a little bit into this dark brown shade right here and a little bit into plum. I'm not going to go into black. I feel like black might be a little bit too much for what we're going for here, but this dark brown is going to add some depth. I love using dark browns with purples because it's not black, but it does add depth. And I make sure I'm going all the way across the crease. And as you can see, this brush is more tapered than this brush. So that's why we're using it deeper in the crease. It's really getting into that nooks and crannies and adding that depth. Yes. I think the first time I did this look a couple days ago, I didn't add the dark brown into the crease. And so then I had to like kind of make up for it in the back end. And yeah, so we're going to just add it here today. That's why I like doing my YouTube videos after I do them for the short form, because I can kind of like figure out some solutions for some problems that may come about before I come on here as an authority and, you know, explain to you on how to do it. So now this is your time where you take that mirror and you hold it far. You always got to hold it far to make sure that everything is looking good from afar, because sometimes up close will trick you. You want to hold that mirror afar and see if you like how everything is blended. If you feel like maybe it is too segregated, it's too dark right here and too light up here, you're going to use those middle shades, so that red, that neon purple, that hot pink, to blend it. Maybe you feel like it's too dark, you're going to go back in with those fluffy brushes up near the brow bone and really diffuse that color up towards the brow bone, right? Maybe you feel like it's not dark enough, you're going to take those taper brushes and add that dark brown, add that plum in the crease, that dark purple. That's how you're gonna, you know, figure out the solutions to your problem. That's why I explain in such depth every single video why I do what I do, so that when you're by yourself and you're looking at it in the mirror and something's not right, you can figure out what it is. So I am very happy with the blend. Now let's move on to cutting the crease. Okay, so we have the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow primer on the back of my hand. This is a Royal and Lang Nickel 2 brush. Got it at Michael's. You can use any small craft brush, and I'm going to go in and cut this crease. I cut the crease fast, okay? I'm not one of the believers of going super slow and holding your breath. No. Anything that happens, we can clean up. Therefore, we should approach it with confidence. All right, so I'm going to start in the inner corner. Boom. Semicircle in the crease. I'm going to fill it in. The key is you don't want too much product on your brush when you're cutting the crease, because primer is liquid, okay? The crease, that is where your eye folds. So you don't want it to be too much liquid in that little bend, because it's going to get everywhere. You also don't want too little on the brush, because then it's not going to make it all the way around the circle and you can have a little bit of a disconnect. So that's how I cut the crease, and we're going to do the other one too, because I feel like it may be beneficial for the people at home. Let's do this. We're going to start in the inner corner. And see, before we even get there, you see how there's too much product on the brush? Therefore, I'm going to just leave some right there. I'm going to just tap it. I always tap it in the inner corner first, so it's really off the brush. Boom, all the way around. Now, this one is a little bit messier. So what we're going to do is we're going to just apply more primer and go high. We're going nice and high to clean that up. We're going to make this line straight towards a curve, but you get my point. And then we're going to fill it in, just like we did on the other side. And now here's the fun part, seeing if they're even. Once again, that far mirror is going to help you out. You're going to make sure that they're even. They only have to be even to each other, okay? I'm carving out a little bit more in the inner corner because it was looking a little like almost triangular with the big hump in the middle and then nothing else. I'm going to just make that even on this side. If you go out of bounds like I did right there, all you have to do is just go into that brown with the little small art brush. Just color it. That's it. And that's why I don't stress about the crease. Because even if you make a mistake, you can very easily clean it up. Okay, now let's get to haloing, shall we? I love halo eyes. All right, so I'm going to take this Morphe M134 concealer brush. It don't matter what its government name is. If you look like you could be used on the lid, you'll be used on the lid. I'm going to go into that brown and that plum. It's very important that this matches the crease because that's what's going to make it look like a circle. And I'm going to go into the inner corner and the outer corner. So you see how it matches with the crease? So it looks like it's all one circle. Add a little bit too much brown, add a little plum on top. And then I'm going to do the same on the other eye. I'm going to do the same on the other side of the eye. Yes. And the same on the other eye for real this time. Going into that outer corner and then that inner corner. Yes. Okay. Now you can go from dark to light. You can go from light to dark. So you can start in the middle of the halo and build it out. We're going to do something in the middle of the two, right? We're not going light to dark or dark to light. I'm going to actually go in with the orange next. I know you're probably like, wait, what? But I feel like it'll be easiest to show you how the ombre works if I go into light next. So I'm going to go into the orange And I'm going to apply that right in the center of the lid. And you see all this fallout? That's why we do our base after our eyes. Yes, yes, indeed. All I have on my face right now is primer. Adding this on the other eye as well. Once again, I'm not worried about getting on top of that dark in the crease because we know that the dark is going to drive out the light color, so we can just add that darkness right on top. All right, now what I'm going to do is build the ombre. So I'm going to go in with, this is a Morphe M166. You could really do this with the same flat brush depending on which colors you use first, but I'm just going to switch it up because, yeah. And so I'm going to go in, we're going to start the way we started the chore. So I'm going to go in with the reds next. And I'm going to apply that right in the center of that dark brown and that orange. Now, are you seeing the ombre build? You seeing the ombre build? Doing the same on this side. Yes, indeed. Going to go in with another flat brush. This is a Morphe M124, and go in with those hot pinks. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back in with that orange. Because we can't really blend horizontally on the crease, how I like to blend is just in layering, right? So I add, I'm not on the crease, but on the layer. We can't really blend like back and forth. That's going to disrupt the shadow and really make it start to separate from each other. So the way that I like to blend is just, in an applying. Apply a little orange on top of the red, then a little red on top of the orange, and then it's gonna make an ombre. And actually, I want to add one more color to this ombre. I'm going to take this brush right here. I'm going to just clean off of my pants. That's what I do. When y'all not here, that's what I do. Actually, when y'all are here, I still do that. I'm going to go into the neon purple. Place that in between this dark shade and the pink, and the dark shade and the red. This is so pretty. I love halo eyes. So I'm going to go back in and just repeat the steps. I'm going to start with that dark plum because it got lost a little bit out here. And then the red and orange definitely got lost. I'm going to apply those. Yes. Yes. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe off my face with a makeup wipe, add my base makeup on, and then we're going to come back for the waterline and the lower lash line. If you want to know how to do your base makeup, don't worry. I literally just posted an updated full base tutorial. It's as in-depth as this eyeshadow tutorial. Actually, it's more in-depth. Talking about why I use what products, how I apply it, what is contouring for, what is concealer for, everything. Everything you could want to know about your base routine, everything you could want to know about my base routine, I have posted. I have a matte base, a dewy base, a pink base, which pink blush, orange base, so many base tutorials. Okay, I'm not leaving you for dead. I'm gonna go do my base and then we'll come right back. Okay, we're back. So for the waterline today, I'm gonna use the Morphe Byliner Dual Ended Gel Pencil, long name, in the shade Mild. And I'm gonna go right into the waterline since it is 1, soft, but 2, sharp. Okay, we're trying this one out because I haven't tried too much of this pencil. I think I used it the other day, but that was the only time. Y'all know I have my whites that I stick to, but I can rock with this. I can rock. I will say it takes more time to get it concentrated when you just apply it right to the eye like this than if I use the flat brush. So, then if I use my little craft brush. So there is a point. But if you want to know more about the waterline, what colors I apply in the waterline to get what effect, my best practices for waterline, my products that I love, you can check out my waterline 101 video. Boom, waterline is done. Now we're going to go in with a flat brush and go in with shade orange. Like I said, when I wore this, I was wearing an orange and pink outfit. So I was very, very pressed to have a lot of orange going on. Also, y'all know that I love orange and a pink blush together. So I have no problem with orange on the lower lash line. No problem with it getting on the cheek. No problem with any of that. Speaking of, I'm going to take that fluffy brush and go into that orange and just blend it out. Okay, that might have been a little bit too far onto the cheek, but it's orange, so it works. Now I'm going to take another flat brush, and I think I'm going to go into, what will I go into? I think I'll go into a little bit of the pink and a little bit of the plum. And just really hug that waterline. Give the eye a little bit of shape. Going back in with that orange. It may look crazy now, but when I do the lower lash line, when I do the lower lashes, you'll see. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with that brush from before, the fluffy brush, and really blend out this pink, blending out that pink. I'm gonna take the XO Cosmetics 108 brush and go into that light pink, a little bit of medium pink, and blend that out. And then really I'm just gonna throw some blush at it. I'm gonna throw some blush at it just so that the face is as cohesive as possible. I absolutely love doing pink and orange eyeshadow for this reason, because it blends so perfectly into the face. I have like a whole series. You may have seen it. I've put it on Instagram, put it on TikTok, and I think I have it in YouTube Shorts too, of just me trying to blend out eyeshadow into different blush colors and like how I go about it with the color wheel. So check out the Shorts tab or my social medias for more of that. It was a nice little series where we're just blending everything into everything. But pink and orange makes it the simplest, obviously. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a sliver of black liner. I do this with every single eyeshadow look that I do, simply because it makes it easier to put the lashes on. Just a little straight line. That's literally the line. This is the Urban Decay 24/7 ink liner in 0. So I add that little liner and I'm going to add my lashes. I'm going to go put my eyelashes on. If you want to know how to apply lashes, I have an entire video for that. It will come up in the cards. I'm going to apply my lashes and we'll come back for the final look. Here is our final look. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please stick around. I have a whole bunch of different eyeshadow tutorials for you. There's halo eyes, wing cut creases, half cut creases, one eyeshadow looks. We've been in a one eyeshadow look series where I take one eyeshadow and build it out to an entire look. We've done red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, 2 browns, light and dark, white and gray. So check those videos out and subscribe down below. We're almost 50,000 subscribers. We're less than 400 subscribers away. We're at 49,000. Look at me speaking into existence. We're at 49,660 last time I checked. So please subscribe down below. Maybe send this video to a friend. If you want to see more of my looks, more of my life, you can check me out in the Shorts tab. We post way more over there. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, all spelled RaggedyRoyal the same way it is down below. I have so many in-person things coming up, which is so rare for me. Speaking of, if you want to see more about YouTube shopping events, how they work, want to see more about my life, I'm going to drop a vlog, which is where I wore this look to the YouTube shopping summit. Also, I have 2 upcoming events. I have Lips and Lashes, a Lauren RaggedyRoyal Masterclass, which is happening on June 28th. So if you're in the Washington, D.C. area, or you can get to the Washington, D.C. area, I'm doing an entire hands-on class where I teach how to apply lashes, how to apply that perfect red lip combo. I'm going to answer all types of questions. There's going to be hands-on support, and there's going to be over $100 worth of product given to you that you can take home that you use in the class. So if you are interested in that, please buy tickets down below. They're going to be in the description box. I also am hosting the branding, building, and bonding class. It's all about how to cultivate your dream community. That's also going to be in Washington, D.C. on June 21st. So you can check out the tickets for that down below as well. And yes, if you have anything you want to see from me this summer, I'm uploading way more videos. Let me know down below. I do take suggestions. The gray one eyeshadow look, actually literally one person commented to do gray. And so I did gray. So I do listen to the people. And I will see you in my next video. Bye. Oh, if you recreate this, please tag me. Please send me pictures. I love to see it. It makes my day. So if you recreate this, please tag me. I would love to see it. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.